Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Too bad. How are you?
Doing good, relative. I'm just gonna wait for our two elders to come in, and here they are. Let me bring them up. All right, here we go. Oh, Lost went out. He probably went out and then come back in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now we got those two up. We'll just give it just a few minutes, and then we'll do opening prayer. Deb, do you want to do it? Losses.
Hello, sister.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Gerald, to this room and to give of your time. I realize our brother here might not be ready to open with a prayer, and I already smudged for the room and for us, and asked for protection for anyone coming in and for the speakers tonight. Very important moments that you're giving us, and we appreciate them.
Mm.
And I'm just going to say a short prayer for everyone in the room. So I won't be speaking in any other language but English for this.
Oh.
Our Great Spirit, our Father, our Mother, our grandmothers and grandfathers that sit in the four sacred directions, the protectors from below, the protectors from above. We ask for your protection over the speakers tonight, and to keep the room clear of any negative energies that might come in here. And for us to be able to speak our words with your intent in our hearts. We ask that you walk with us every moment through this, so that we may share truths and share them with love and share them amongst each other, so we can help other people. I also ask right now for guidance for each one of us who is able to ask questions, to make those questions very pointed, and to try our best to stay focused on the message that's being given to us. Hi.
Aho.
I just realized that I put for this space to be recorded, and it's not recording for some reason. So I'm going to do that a different way, if that's okay with you.
It's showing recording.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. As you can see, this clan mother doesn't know technology too well. I don't see a big record on there, so it's like, oh well, maybe it's not doing it. Okay. I want to welcome our relative Gerald here, and I will let him introduce himself. He is from First Nations, and we'll lead you off, Gerald.
Aho. Aho ni stagita ni gan mama tawin og siman to binanas ko mo. Wini hiyawan ni gan ko ami og siman to kagi pics huyun ko pagam kakki ni gan stanom kahui mams puchigi ang on kakki og am to tomagi kakki og chahid now. So I want to thank the Creator first and foremost for allowing me to be here today. And I spoke in my Woodland Cree language because that's the language that the Creator had blessed with me, had blessed for me. And I always need to address that part of my human being when I address my fellow human being. And for all of you listening in, I want to tell you that I love each and every one of you. And thank you for being here. And thank you for allowing me to share the sacred space with you, my brothers and my sisters. Hey, how?
Aho.
So I want to thank my sister Luna for reaching out to share what little I know and what little I've been learning on my years here on Mother Earth. I've been on this journey learning for 33 years, 24/7, 365 days a year. I hail from northern Alberta. I am Woodland Cree. I come from a family of 14, 7 brothers, 7 sisters. My father had gone home to the spirit world along with my maternal and paternal grandparents. My mom is still here with us at 90 years of age, and mom was raised in residential school when she was 2 till she was 17. Dad was in residential school for 1 year that my brothers in the South know as boarding schools. He was in it for 1 year, and then he ended up running away and was raised on the land by my paternal grandfather and paternal grandmother. And today now I sit before you and speak before you as a product of intergenerational impact and colonization of our brothers and sisters that came over the Great Water with hairy faces. Being a product of intergenerational impact, I went through the emotional, the mental, the physical, the sexual abuse as a child at the hands of these residential schools. I was told by my ancestors and the elders in 2009 to walk away from the world I had come to know in Hollywood, working with Hollywood for 20 plus years, traveling the world and seeing other parts of Mother Earth. And then I was told in 2009 that I had lived and learned what I needed from that part of my physical walk on this journey we call life. And I walked away from everything, unplugged, and walked into the wilderness for 6 years. I didn't know how long I was to walk away from the world. I walked into the wilderness and spent 6 years healing from my unresolved childhood trauma of emotional, mental, physical, sexual abuse. And in 2015, Hollywood came calling again. And that's when I knew my time in the wilderness was done. When I left the wilderness in 2015, I was given my marching orders by the Creator that I've come to know as my best friend, and the ancestors that have walked on into the spirit world, and to the few remaining 8 fire elders that I got to sit with the time I spent in the wilderness. And I was told, Uti Nigan, Anisku, Gui, Pastigo, Gota Witaka Wistawa, Witaka Miupai, Waitaka Imihot. Itanguiadisku Pasuguche, Igotanguiatka, Himino Paigum, Matsun, Umigatka Inato Paik, they said. They said that in the future, not in the very near future, the woman, the most powerful and the most sacred being in this world, would rise and regain her rightful place in the circle of life. And only until that happens is only when the world will correct itself. But they also had said to me, Astuti hinigan, tuwi kanatok payo, katahtikon paksin ay sino, we wabasti ghosti wangis sutoat ksimantua, guasti wangis sutoat utay sinima uichik timagwa, the ancestors said. They said that there would come a time where chaos, confusion, mayhem, and destruction would run rampant on the back of Mother Earth, to show humanity and to remind humanity what it has forgotten, its higher power, and how it has forgotten its fellow human being. And then the ancestors from the stars, at Tachkinuwag, that we know as Woodland Cree, as our ancestors from the stars, the sky people, had said to me in August the 21st of 2017, Moi wahio astig an mo magawi waskuti pa igutis matanok. Igutaw waskuti pa ige igutal michira isino kawi paskatihi pait kawi one squee pait Guasto magawigis ka na kumatsun. Wigay katabugita mi goamiu tabuun kawi wabati ghost they sinu, they said. That there would come a day, and that day was not that far off. Humanity would see a flash of light in the heavens that would shift the consciousness of humanity forever on that day. Millions, if not billions, would lose their minds, end their lives, and have heart attacks because that flash of light would reveal a truth that had been hidden from humanity. And there would be those who would not be able to handle the truth being that our ancestors from the stars would return to heal Mother Earth for what we have done to her as the human family, and that they would also be here to heal humanity for how humanity would lose its way. When I walked into the wilderness, when I first walked into the wilderness 33 years ago, I was told by one of my knowledge keepers of these 7 prophecies that would come to pass. And when those 7 prophecies come to pass is when the flash of light would be on the horizon for humanity. The first prophecy that was shared with me, this was in the late 80s, that they said to me, there would come a time men with hairy faces would come across the great water, and with them they would bring a book that would disconnect us as the 4 directional people of Turtle Island from our language, the land, and our way of life. That book that they spoke of was what our European brothers and sisters know as the Bible. Shortly thereafter, there would come this box that would shake. And when that box would shake, there would be people, we would be able to speak to each other from different parts of Mother Earth. That box that would shake would be the telephone. Shortly thereafter, they said there would be these steel rods that would run on the back of Mother Earth carrying thunder power, and that being what we know as the power lines. Shortly thereafter, there would come a time where this box would come that would have an eye in it. And when you looked into that eye, you'd be able to see many other places and people on the back of Mother Earth, that being the television. Shortly thereafter, the eagle would fly through the air with steel wings, and that would be the sign of the great change would begin for us as the red people. That eagle that would fly through the air with steel wings would be the airplane. Shortly thereafter, they said Grandmother Spider would cast a web around Mother Earth that would bring unity and knowledge to humanity, because humanity would begin to lose its way at that time. Shortly thereafter, there would be this light that would fall from the sky. And when that light fell from the sky, that's when humanity would go through this shift in consciousness, through this mass spiritual awakening, to prepare the human family for this 8th prophecy that was going to come about that flash of light in the stars. Today, as 4 directional people, our ancestors and our elders had spoke of this time where the 8th fire would be lit in the hearts of mankind. And that 8th fire that would be lit in the hearts of mankind would not be a physical fire, but a spiritual fire. And they had said, we will know that time of great change for us as the red people would be upon us when the young people would sit with the knowledge keepers, would sit with the elders, would sit with the ceremonial people. Because at this time, the Western world would come to realize their values, their philosophies, their beliefs do not work because of the mass chaos, confusion, mayhem, and destruction running rampant on the back of Mother Earth. and the Western world would go sit at the sacred fire of the red man and relearn life. Today, now, our elders that we have, the elders of yesterday spoke of culture, language, and spirituality. Today, unfortunately, our elders that we have speak of trauma, speak of abuse, speak of residential school. That is why there was a generation of us that the world knows as Generation X. We were told to go back into the wilderness and reconnect with the language, the culture, and the land. Because the indigo children that were born in the 80s, who are now the millennials in the Western world, would not have that connection that they would need for these times. So our children and our grandchildren that are being born today in these times are the children of the light. And these are the children that are born with the knowledge and the connection that humanity will need to find its way back on the sacred road of life. So these prophecies are now coming into play, have come into play. So I honor each and every one of you for opening your mind and your heart and wanting to know the original teachings of our ancestors, the original teachings that come from the beginning of time. Because as this great awakening is upon us, what some religions have come to know as the apocalypse is doom and gloom, that is not what we see it to be. The apocalypse is the unraveling and the uncovering of the truth, the original truth. So we're in exciting times for those of us who follow this road, who follow these teachings, who are learning these teachings, that it is our sacred role and responsibility to bring these original teachings to our Black brothers and sisters, our yellow brothers and sisters, and our white brothers and sisters. Because as a red people, we were given the sacred role and responsibility to understand the spiritual element of life and to honor and share the traditional and spiritual laws that we've been given as a human family, beginning with Creator's law. Two of Creator's absolute laws. First is no human being has the right to hurt another human being. The second law is no human being has the right to play with another human being's life. Because the Creator loved us enough to grant us free will. We are free to make choices. We are not free from the consequences. If you do good things will come. If you do bad things will come. And this is why now we are being told, instructed by the ancestors and by the elders to start sharing with the world the importance and the reason why natural law was created for the human family. Natural law of what humanity and the Western world knows as karma. What you put out there is what you will get in return. So this is why natural law was created, and humanity had forgotten about natural law and is now being reminded through the chaos, through the confusion, through the mayhem, through the destruction, that we have overstepped Creator's law and broke natural law. And we have done that by breaking and not honoring the laws of nature, of these four sacred elements that we've been given as a human family, being the earth, the wind, the water, the fire. And when we've broken, overstepped the laws of nature, we have overstepped spiritual law. And spiritual law is what governs us as spiritual beings housed in these human beings. So for those of us who have been on this journey, and for those of us who have been fighting the good fight for our people, for all people, for our children and their children's children, we are now in the fourth and final quadrant of this lunar year. Two things are to happen in these times as we go into the fourth and final quadrant from September the 21st to December the 21st. For those of us who fought the good fight and have done the inner work, have understood the four parts of our human being, the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual, we will reap what we sow in terms of abundance and prosperity to bring that love, light, and unity and healing to a world struggling with darkness. For those who have resisted the new world, for those who have questioned the new world, for those who have refused to do the inner work to find their balance, will now start spiraling and falling to their knees to be reminded for the last time of their higher power and about their fellow human being. So we are living in challenging, interesting times for a reason. And all the light workers, the star seeds, and the chosen elect are being gathered for a reason. Because the ancestors had spoke of a time where the women and men of wisdom would gather and the rainbow warriors would rise in these times, preparing humanity for when the ancestors from the stars would return back to humanity. So this is a part of what's going on in the world right now, and this is why I do what I do. And in terms of understanding, when I tell the people it is what it is, I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here not to convince you. I have been given the to tell the people that the world has forgotten how to think for themselves. They have to take back their gift of free will and to be able to find and promote and speak of that love, light, and healing that is needed to a human family that has lost its way. So I thank each and every one of you for listening, and give it back to you, my sister Luna.
Thank you, Gerald. I just wanted to ask you if you could speak more on, I tried to share a few of some of your knowledge before today's space, and wanted to kind of ask you to go a little bit further into the concept of mother giving birth and the great change that is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what that means for our listeners. And also, if you have time, would you be able to take any questions? Because I have a few people that are requesting to come up and speak. And we'll do that after Gerald gets done speaking. But could you go a little bit further into the natural law and the big change that we First Nations are waiting for, and and life resetting itself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, first off, this is not my knowledge. This is knowledge I'm sharing from the ancestors, from the elders, from the creator, from the star people, the sky people. So I'm but a conduit, but I'll share with you what they have shared with me in ceremonies on the land through what I've been doing for the last 33 years. But it was in the 70s, our sister from the south in the US, No Eyes. They called her No Eyes because she was blind, but she could see through her third eye. And she prophesied in the 70s that there would come a time Mother Earth would become pregnant. And when she gave birth, she would give birth to this new world. She would give birth to a new world, being that what's happening right now on the back of Mother Earth with all these natural disasters that are on the rise, from the floods, the fires, the earthquakes, the volcanoes erupting, is Mother Earth going through her contraction through the volcanoes, through the earthquakes that are happening through. That's a part of her going into her, having her contractions. And what happens when a woman gives birth is when her water breaks. So that's with all the floods that are happening right now, with the element of water cleaning herself for as she's about to give birth. And when they said the contraction would happen, then her water would break, contraction would happen, and there would be this new world that would happen. And it was said by the ancestors. I had asked the creator in the wilderness, he said, why is it that we as the red people have always been disrespected and not honored by our members of our human family, from our yellow brothers and sisters to our black brothers and sisters to our white brothers and sisters. And the Creator said, because there's going to come a time those three races of the human family will come to the sacred fire of the red man and relearn life, because they will have forgotten the Creator. Would have forgotten the higher power, and that we as the red people would give them that guidance, that direction, the healing that they would need to reconnect with the Creator. So that's this whole awakening that's happening right now. One thing that's going to happen is that us as the red people are going to regain our language, our land, and our way of life, in understanding the spirituality that's returning back to humanity right now, with this global shift in consciousness that's happening, with these people having vivid dreams, having synchronicities, having multiple deja vus on the daily basis, seeing these lights in the sky, is what the ancestors spoke of. At takunan kawi, we had waskawi magahuma askiu snoma askiu mohtiune. They had said that spirituality is returning back to humanity. And this is why a lot of people are having these spiritual nuances that they know as coincidences, the deja vus, the vivid dreams. His spirituality is returning back to humanity, but also to be very mindful of where you go for your guidance, your direction, and your healing when it comes to spirituality, because there will be those who will play with spirituality, who've always played with spirituality, and always to be very mindful. Takan wama wan ay sino tansis waskawit, igo tatakskitin, tansis am stotawad, igo ne miguapa, igo ne huspaganda, igo ne masihiwatikwa. They had said, watch how a person moves in life, and you will know how they understand that pipe, how they understand those ceremonies, and how they understand those medicines based on how they move in life. And always be mindful. Don't go to just any ceremony. Don't go to just any pipe. Don't go to just any medicine. There has to be an understanding on how the person walks in life. Will understand humility. Will understand humility for really what it is. So that's a part of this global shift that's happening right now with this mass spiritual awakening, is that people are being reminded about the spiritual element of life. So that's what this shift in consciousness that's happening right now. And unfortunately, it's like how we know natural law, what goes up, something must come down. Where there's hot, there's cold. Where there's night, there's day. There will be those who have done the work, who have done the inner work, who are fighting the good fight for the Creator and for the people and for the children and their children's children. We will be okay. Is the shift that's happening? It'll be those who have lost their way. It'll be those who haven't done the work. It'll be those who resisted this new world emerging, that will come to understand and see natural law for really what it is. So
Thank you for that, Gerald. I know there's going to be questions, and what we'll do is, if you have questions, you can start requesting now, and Deb and Loss will get you up here. Before we do this, let's keep, because I see new people in here. Our regular people know, how we do our native roundtable. No interrupting, please. Just that's a main thing. We give everybody the respect and let them speak as they want without an interruption. So we just want to remind everybody of that before we take requests up. And one thing that I want you, or would like to ask you to speak on also, is we have a lot of experiencers here, and we have a few that are interested and tuned in with Sky World, and we get a lot of questions. As a clan mother, I I'm trying to work on it, but really as a clan mother, it's not something that I speak about beyond our First Nation relatives.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of people who have questions about Sky World and what is happening and what they're seeing right now. Is there anything that you can give us knowledge about that ancestors have brought to you?
When I was in the wilderness, I remember in 2011, I went to a ceremony, and I asked the ancestors about this light in the night sky I had seen when I was 13 years of age back home in northern Alberta. And I asked the ancestors in the ceremony, what was that light? The ancestors came back and they said to me, those are your ancestors from the stars that have been trying to give you a message. And keep in mind, the ancestors said that the ancestors from the stars, they too come from the creator. But just like there's many races of man, there's many races of the star people. But just like there's many races of man that are disconnected from the creator and don't know the creator, there are many races of the star people who don't know the creator or have become disconnected. So when you are ready to open your mind and your heart, make sure you call those that work for the creator, and they will come and share the knowledge that you've been wanting to share with you, was what I was told. I hummed and I hawed for 2 weeks about what I was told to do. And I finally had to say to myself, Gerald, you were given that knowledge in a sacred space. And you have never been afraid of anything in this world because you work for the creator, you know the creator. So you do what you have to do and ask and open your mind and your heart to the ancestors from the stars. Sure enough, I go and I follow protocol and I do what I need to do on how I was taught. And I called and opened my heart and my mind and my heart to the star people. And they came through ceremony and they said, we are here to heal humanity. We are here to heal Mother Earth. We have always been here. We've always had. When you look into the night sky, those are nations that you see, just like you will see nations on the back of Mother Earth. Those are communities in the sky that you see, and that is us. But make sure when you are ready to reach out to make sure you call those that work for the creator, and they will come. So that's a part of it, and they are the ones who bring the knowledge, who bring the healing, who bring the understanding through consciousness of what it is and how truly pitiful we are as a human species in on the back of Mother Earth. And they are the ones that come from multiple universes. And that's how arrogant the human being has become, thinking that they are the only ones in these vast universes that span since the beginning of time and go to the end of time. So that is the understanding. And when they said that flash of light is coming, they will come when humanity has lost its way to be able to reset life and humanity and to get them back on the path that we are meant to be able to enjoy and live life in balance and harmony and enjoy this human experience as spiritual beings. So that is just one of many understandings that I have with my ancestors from the stars. Because when you look at those constellations in the night sky, there are seven. There's Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, there for a reason, and all these constellations are there. Our ancestors had always had a relationship with our ancestors from the stars. So
Thank you for that. And I'm just going to ask you to go into one more topic, and then we'll let people start asking questions if you don't mind, if you still have
sure,
enough time.
I'll give time.
If you could explain the 360 frequency.
Oh. When I was in the wilderness, I had asked the ancestors from the stars, why is time speeding up. And the ancestors from the stars came and said, time is not speeding up. Time has always ran, it always has since the beginning of time. It is you as a human being that is rushing through life because you have been conditioned to follow the 1260 frequency, which is artificial time. 1260 frequency is 60 seconds to a minute, 60 minutes to an hour, 12 months of the year. That is a clock and a calendar that humanity has been conditioned to chase, and it will never catch up to it. Hence why we have so much sickness, cancer, confusion, and mayhem in this world, because we have been conditioned to follow and chase a clock and a calendar that we'll never catch up to. They said, start telling the people about the 1328 frequency, because only until the human family understands and starts working with the 1328 frequency, that is how they will find the balance and the peace and the contentment that they are all seeking in their life. And there is only one species that lives that 1328, that know nothing about the clock, that know nothing about the calendar, and that's the animal nation. The sky nation, the insect nation, the water nation, the ones that crawl. So the four-leggeds, the two-leggeds, they're the only ones who are living creator's time, which is real time, which is the 1328. And today we live in the 21st century, and I have come to, and I had asked them, well, how do I live in balance in a world living at 1260? And they said, you will understand the 1260 has its role in life, but you will also understand the power of creator's time, which is the 1328. So today, as a four-directional human being living in the 21st century, I wear a Nike in one foot and I wear a moccasin in the other, and understanding that I don't look at life from an egocentric mentality, because if I look at life from an egocentric mentality, I am not honoring Creator's truth. I am not honoring Creator's teachings. That is a part of how I didn't choose to do this, to be able to do what I do in life, but my paternal grandparents had always told me since I was a little boy, this is what's coming, this is what you're doing. So, and that is why when I now know that the Creator will give the hardest battles to the strongest soldiers, because if the Creator will bring you to it, the Creator will bring you through it. And that's a part of why I don't do what I do for Gerald Auger. I do it to earn a good death, and I do it for my son and my grandchildren. So that to me is what I was told to start sharing with the people about the 1260 and the 1328 frequency.
Thank you so much, Gerald. Are you ready for some questions, or do you have
Sure.
anything else that you want to? We have a lot of people who follow the UFO world also. So if you have anything that would help them, to give them a little bit of knowledge on questions, or them questions may come to you also. So is there anything else? I will let the two elders intervene first, and then we'll take questions from others.
Yeah. No, all I can say to the ones who are wanting to understand the sky people, the star people, the ancestors from the stars, just be very mindful and be very careful who you call upon and which ones you call upon. And that because words are like medicine, and we need to be very mindful of how we use those words and what we call into space, what we call upon. That is why in everything that I do, I always say, for those of you that work for the Creator, I call upon you. And that, so for those of you wanting to know, wanting to open your mind and your heart, just be very careful and be very mindful that you call upon those that work for the Creator.
Okay, so now I'm going to give it to each one of our elders, starting with the Sacred Sister Deb, and then Loss for anything that they would like to add or ask.
Mm-hmm.
Gee miigwech, Gerald, for sharing your knowledge. It's very validating for my own path. And I thank you, you know, from my heart and my family. My grandchildren are here listening.
Oh.
And so, yeah, you've validated so much for me. We've already been living by those instructions around a different time. Like I don't see time by these clocks and calendars, and we've been living basically by nature's instruction, which is the 13 moons. And you know, I teach my grandchildren to show honor to that, right? That's a system that's been with us for tens of thousands of years. But I wanted to ask you if the sky people, like I was out in ceremony a couple years ago, and we were given a message. And I'm terrible with messages. You have such a clear voice, and like you're so much more capable than I am of sharing those messages. But we were shown in the center of the ancestors dancing yet. In the center, we were shown three triangular. Well, they were lights that moved into 3 points, and there were 3 of them. And it felt like we were being reassured of the future, you know, because we, of course, every one of us we were struggling with what was taking place in the world, and I wanted my grandchildren to feel that they could ask, you know, our first ancestors, you know, to comfort them, you know. So as we were out there, we had great questions for the mother. And so as these 3, well, they came across as lights, right? All of them. And of course, you know what that is like, right? Being out in ceremony alone. Hey? And they made themselves into those geometric shapes of triangles. And I won't say pyramids because they were not a pyramid. They were a message of some sort. And you know, I'd love to talk more with you about that, because I'm sure you probably have indications of similar messages right now. And it really talks about, you know, our connection to the sky people, how important that is at this time. Yeah. So I did want to ask you about that. You know, when you're speaking when you're in ceremony with the ancestors, they come through clearly to you, don't they?
They come through in the wilderness. When I asked, I was told when I asked about that light in the night sky at 13, they said, you will go sit for 5 days and 5 nights out on the land, no food, no water, and we will come and show you the message we've been trying to give you. And they had to, when I asked them that ceremony in 2011 about that night sky, I started off by saying to the ancestors, I seen 3 of you star nations in the dreamscape, but I couldn't understand what you were trying to tell me. So that's when they said, you will go sit for 5 days and 5 nights and we will come tell you. So it was in those 5 days and 5 nights when they came on the 5th night, when I asked them, who are you? Where are you? And where do you come from? They showed me out on the land, the Big Dipper, the 7 stars falling apart in unison into the great water, into Mother Earth. And they said, this is where we come from, but this is where we are. This is where we've always been here, saying on the back, on the core of Mother Earth, and on the bottom of the great water, bottom of the ocean, there's a reason why human beings can only go so far. And they said, we are here to heal Mother Earth. We are here to heal humanity. And those 3 nations that come are the ones that came from Orion's belt as well. So that's why there was 3 of them. And it goes deeper than that. Those triangles, there's a reason why in some of these steeples you will see a triangle, because they speak, the ones that work for the Creator come in that form, in their ships that come, that they use. They don't need physical ships to travel, but they only do that because the human being is so primitive in its way of thinking that they only use those ships to be able to, so that human beings can connect with them. But that's when you said the three that came, those are the three that came that
Yeah.
worked for the Creator as well to bring this knowledge, the healing that humanity will need for our children and our children's children. And that's so.
That's comforting, because that was the message that we got when
Mhm.
we left our
Mhm.
island where we go to ceremony.
Mhm.
Yeah, very, very important
Mhm.
message to our nations and our people, and to others who are ready to listen.
Mhm.
And
And
yeah, I was just showing my grandchildren, the star systems
Mhm.
outside, and I said
Mhm.
to them, I said, and there, that
Mhm.
is where we come
Mhm.
from,
Mhm.
and
Well,
they recognize.
they also did say that iguchan may isku ga himia to be squeezed the maria who go kani isukis disku we negawi skill and nagatuho they had said the ancestors had said we had given the woman the authority to speak on our behalf on the back of Mother Earth because they are the ones who are connected to Mother Earth, the women. That is the other message they had said.
Yeah,
They said always be mindful of the woman because without the woman there is no life.
yeah,
Without Mother Earth there is no life. So
awesome. That's yeah. I mean, it's also validating, and I
mm,
I struggle with being able to relay those important messages. And I'm so grateful you're here, because normally I'm the one doing my prayers, I'm the one smudging, I'm the one looking after the spiritual energy of what we do online. And, obviously, it took a long time for that to happen, but the grandfathers spoke with me and said it was time.
mm,
So I know we're on the right path
mhm,
with our knowledge. And this is
mhm,
energy. This is what we know as
mhm,
nations. We understand it as a people.
mhm,
And, I've always believed that myself, and my grandchildren
mhm,
are learning about that.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
I think everything you're saying is exactly what I myself have received.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
And it's wonderful to hear
mhm,
it from
mhm.
somebody else. Thank you.
The grandmother just told me to tell you kakwe the postamo no simna ni so kistanunga in school. Kaki the momsito na the grandmother just said, tell my fellow woman she has not to be ever scared of the power and the authority that she has, and to have her always speak to me and I will help her, is what the grandmother's saying. That you are very powerful as a life giver, as a nurturer, as a caretaker, and don't ever be afraid to be afraid of your authority, is what she's saying.
Thank you for saying that, and for telling her message to me, and to
Mm-hmm,
all women.
mm-hmm,
I always feel like I speak from the least of us all. I am the least. I am the lowest. I am here to
mm-hmm,
serve,
mm-hmm,
and so for me, it's humbling. It's so very humbling. I
mm-hmm.
will listen, and I will take that
Aho,
message with me.
Uh-huh.
aho.
Hi, hi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, brother, do you have anything you want to input or ask Gerald?
First of all, Apatunwa Stekola.
Mm,
Good to have you here. Thank you for coming and
aho.
sharing with the people the messages that you're sharing. And I have to tease my sisters here. Mhm, mhm,
Here we go. Oh, here we
mhm.
go. I will explain this to you, Gerald. I will explain this to you after we're finished and we get it.
Uh-huh.
Yes. It,
Mhm.
it is our First Nations humor.
Mhm. That's always.
Okay.
When Gerald, when you're sitting there and you got two sisters sitting beside you,
Mhm.
and you know how our women can get. So we have us old men, we kind of us older men, we kind of gotta get our teasings back in when we can.
Yes, and he's done that. So I'm over here Really being red skinned right now, even through the face right now. So thank you, brother. That was really nice of you. We'll
I'm
go
always
ahead.
here to be helpful, sister. You know that.
I know you are, but you know, you remember the word karma, because it will come. Me and sister will get you. We're gonna go ahead. This would be the time for whoever wants to come up and ask a question should do so, and we're going to start. Put your hand up. We'll do it that way, you all. That way, everybody gets in, and we don't overwhelm Gerald. Anthony, go ahead, nephew, and make sure to introduce yourself.
On Petu Washte, Himalaya lo Pete Omani, Wupila Tanka. But thank you for sharing. I'm one of those in the community that likes to share history and some of the teachings. My medicine man, my Wikasa Wakanwa, walked on just recently. But I got his brother's book. Dickie wrote a book, My Grandfather's Altar, and I just started reading it. So, but I learned from Sam Moves Camp, and he told me about the star people and his conversations that I had with him over the last almost 10 years before he walked on. So thank you for sharing, because I really, what really hit home for me was when you said you got one foot in a Nike and one foot in a moccasin, and that's how some of us here we have that ability, and sometimes going to that access to that spiritual world helps us deal with this world. And a lot of times I spend a lot of my times recently now is in those moccasins, and this world to me, I'm just watching from over here and kind of observing and trying to correct on the right path. But I'm glad that my Auntie Luna has got quite a bit of people together that are part of that. The guardians of our knowledge from our certain tribes. I'm Cheyenne Arapaho. So coming together and sharing that wisdom is part of one of the prophecies that's being fulfilled that we were talked about, and I'm just grateful to be a part of this panel and to be able to listen also.
Okay, so we'll go right from the first, and then I'm going right down the line, you all. B, go ahead.
How good evening. So awesome, amazing to have you with us, Gerald, and thank you so much for sharing with us. My question for you, I am an experiencer of this stuff that is currently topically coined UAP, and I do understand from the wisdom that Mother Luna and Auntie Debbie and Lost have been sharing with us, that this isn't anything new to your peoples, our peoples. I am a long lost child of a Cherokee Wolf clan. My question tonight, it resounds around, there's a new quote unquote discovery of a part of the brain that people have in common, that they're finding that are having these experiences with anomalous phenomena. And I am deeply interested in learning anything I can about any kind of knowledge or wisdom that you would have to share about the awakening of this part of the brain and what it has to do with all of this.
A part of the mind is a powerful thing, but now as the world is being turned upside down, the ancestors said those that have always been on the inside looking out will now be the ones on the outside looking in. Iwan mume hiwangis tacho Tansi tagihti ganoma matsun atahun, they had said, because those people have forgotten the power of creator, the power of who we are as spiritual beings housed in these human beings. And the brain is a part of where our ego resides, and a part of the awakening that's happening. There's parts of people are remembering things that they've always known through spirit. When the ancestors from the stars, and I asked them, well, how do we communicate with you? And they said, we come through consciousness. We don't, we, we come through consciousness through time and space is how we communicate. So when you have those thoughts that come that you think are random, that's us communicating. We also communicate through the binary system. And that's why even Yeshua, that the world has come to know, are about to realize that Yeshua was a star being, which is why Yeshua said, I am the beginning, I am the end, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. That is the binary code that he talks about. But as this awakening is happening, in order for the mind to connect with spirit, this pineal gland that's opening up, that's always been there, is now being opened through this global shift in consciousness. This is why people's intuition is on the rise. This is why a lot of the people a lot of their spiritual gifts and abilities have become dormant because of Western medication, because of Western philosophy, because of Western modalities. But now, as these gifts are becoming awake, are waking up, and these are the gifts as empaths, telepaths, healers, travelers, and we have these different spiritual gifts that all races of humanity have been given that. The ancestors had said there's two types of humans on Mother Earth right now. There are the Earth humans who have been born here, who are from here, who originate from here. And there's the star humans. Those are the hybrids. Those are the ones who have spiritual gifts and abilities and have multiple gifts and abilities. These are the healers. These are the seers. These are the telepaths. These are the empaths. That's a part of what's happening right now in the world. So when they say, when our European brothers came over the Great Water on the Turtle Island, thinking they discovered something, and that they said they were here to civilize us because we were uncivilized. The elders had said, if we were living in a civilized society, why do we have kids killing kids, kids having kids? Why do we have all this chaos? We, as the original people of Turtle Island, always knew balance, always knew harmony, because we lived and understood our connection to our ancestors from the stars and what they really brought to us in life. Right now, the Western world is still speculating about our ancestors from the stars. There are those of us who've always known of their existence. And that's a part of it when you're ready to open your mind and your heart and say, but be mindful when you call and ask them for that. That's why you have been having your intuition has been heightened. And that's a part of why you are wanting to, the spirit world is telling you, is showing you, is guiding you what you need to do with that. So, but you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust your third eye, and you have to have intent behind what it is, but also be mindful of natural law. Because if we ever play with these gifts and abilities, if we ever play with this knowledge, this is why natural law was created. And that's a part of where the world has lost its way. So when you're ready to share and open your mind, your heart to the ancestors from the stars that work for the Creator, just be very mindful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, B. Joshua, go ahead.
Oh, hello guys. Hey Luna, how are you? My name's Joshua Gerald. I just want to say thank you for sharing this information. I really appreciate it from you. Don't want to overwhelm you too much because I'm just, I'm just a beginner too. I'm a mixed blood, so I don't know if you're aware of mixed blood, but I have some native blood in me. I'm also white, but I had native blood in me, but my mom would never tell me who we were. She would push me away and not be fully open honest with what tribe we're part of, but I'm still trying to figure that out.
Mhm.
But I still have connection to the land, and I still experience things that I shouldn't be experiencing, but I still experience them, and I'm just trying to figure my path out too, and I don't know what it is quite yet, where I'm heading to.
Mhm.
But
Okay. Okay.
but I wanted to say thank you for sharing this, and then I just want to get your knowledge too on mixed blood.
Mhm.
And thank you.
Here in Canada, we call them Métis. They're the mixed bloods we know here in Canada. We call I'm Métis. I have French blood in me, but I also have Woodland Cree on my dad's side. My grandfather was French Canadian. But the ancestors said when you were talking about the ancestors said about you don't need anybody to tell you who you are. You have a heart, then to always follow your heart and trust your heart. The grandmother said you were given a mind to be able to think for yourself and to always follow your heart, because you already know who you are as a mixed blood. But we all come from the creator. It does not matter if we're green, red, or yellow. We are all spiritual beings housed in this human being. But for me, I was told by my ancestors, by the elders, and that yes, I have mixed blood. They said, but pick one. Either you're going to be Métis or you're going to be Woodland Cree. I still honor my Woodland Cree, but I still honor my Métis blood in me, but I also honor my Woodland Cree. That is where I understand this is the language I speak. These are the teachings that I'm learning. These are spiritual teachings that I'm learning as a Woodland Cree. But so that's a part of it is for you being a mixed blood, and that we actually have the best of two worlds. So it's how you look at it and how you honor yourself and how you love yourself. That's all you need to know at this time, because the very brief time we're on this physical world, life is about a blip on the timeline of eternity. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, we're going to be in a different plane. How do you want to live your truth? How do you want to live this day? Just be thankful and grateful every day you get up that you're able and have a sound mind and a sound body, because there will come a time where you'll be in a different plane. So live life for really what it is right now and live your own truth. And that, because that's all you have. You only answer we can only answer to ourselves, and we can only answer to our creator at the same time. So be proud of who you are as a woman and as a mixed blood.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gerald, for answering these questions. I'm going to give one more chance to the people who are listening. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and request now, as we're doing questions and comments. And thank you all for being here. And ancestors don't send us and bring us together for no reason. You're here for a reason, so don't hesitate if you have something to say, or you need to let your spirit take over from your conscious mind and body right now. You're in here for a reason, other than just wanting to hear or be here to hear Gerald. So I just want to remind you all of that, because I don't know who you are, but I know you have a question, and you're hesitating to come in and ask it, or comment.
Don't be shy.
I know it. Okay, so Gerald, I just want to give you a little rest here. You've done you've brought a lot of confirmation to me also, especially as a clan mother. You know, this last ceremony was very, very powerful for me. I have been the type within my tribe that, you know, I conceal things and keep that knowledge within our people, and I'm being directed by ancestors and creator to stop doing this so much, and because the people need to know, whether they are our First Nation relatives or not, they are our relatives, and we're all connected. So I'm working on this. But it's hard to break old habits, and I am a boarding school survivor, so, and an elder, so it's like it's really hard to trust, you know, outside of our First Nation relatives. But I'm trying to, even though I know that through my healing, I'm never really gonna fully heal for the things that our ancestors have been through what I've been through. But trying to come to a consensus of, okay, well, it's not all about you, and it's not all about you now, and it's not all about just, you know, your people now. It's about humanity, and that's where I'm at with this. And ancestors brought me to you, just like you said, you know, you have no control. I had no control. This is where I was led, is to you, and now I see why. And I just want to give you acknowledgement and thank humbly thank you for coming here with us today. So
the grandmother just said to tell you, kay wikats the custom unah the will, kayast wikats the gustsu, kayast wikat the custom matsu. Isu kistan muma kay school, kama kwanta kagipi ko atagitat, taksnoh taywi dal muma gad misko chupay matsun. The grandmother said, tell her not to be afraid of healing. Tell her not to be afraid of herself, and tell her not to be afraid of speaking the truth. The reason why she went through what she went through is because she's going to give other boarding school survivors permission to heal, and to never tell yourself that you will never heal. If you tell yourself that, then you've given yourself permission not to heal. You will heal, because in order for our children and their children's children to heal and bring healing to the nations, our boarding school are not survivors, they are heroes. Our residential school, I tell that to my mother, is a residential school hero, because she made through her 17 years in the residential school. I don't look at her as a residential school survivor. I see her as a residential school hero. Mom is 90 now, and now she holds the feather, the medicines, the prayers in high regard after being raised Catholic. And I had to teach my mom how to say, I love you. And I had to teach my dad how to give a hug, because I had to do the work emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually to heal from my childhood trauma because of residential school. So the grandmother's telling you, don't be afraid of life, and don't be afraid to heal, and don't be afraid of yourself. That's a part of it. That's where you will truly heal, she said. Because you have work to do for our people, for our creator, for our ancestors.
Auntie,
yes.
I want to give you one. You said you're working on your cross-cultural communication, is what I heard you say. because you were saying you had a way of describing our brothers and sisters, and that you're working on that. And so as long as you're working on that, you know, it's a work in progress. So I like to call it cross-cultural communication.
Yes. Yes. I guess it just has a lot to do with trust. And to be totally honest with you, it's just, you know, because of my experiences as a First Nation woman, I know my responsibilities now. I had to learn these things because I was taken away from my tribe. So I wasn't raised to know myself and who I was. And now that I do, it just sometimes is, I don't want to say overwhelming, but I want to say very strong and heavy on some of the responsibilities I have as a First Nation woman. Because I'm reminded by ancestors every day of, you know, this, like this power you spoke of, Gerald. Ancestors bring that to me very, very often. And I guess it's my will to make them proud, to make Creator proud, to make the ancestors proud, and do what I have to do to not only just help our First Nations people as a clan mother, but also humanity, especially right now and what's going on. So I just get kind of scared whether I'm going to do that.
That's what the grandmothers, that's what she means when she says, tell her not to be scared of herself. Tell her not to be scared of healing. Tell her not to be scared of the truth. That's what she means. She's telling you, don't be scared. And have her, she will help you. You have to ask her to help you. That's what she means when she said that, sister. She said, tell her not to be scared. Don't be scared of your healing. Don't be scared of yourself. Don't be scared to look at what you need to look at for yourself. Because the only way you will understand trust and regain trust is when you forgive yourself. Because you can't forgive those who hurt you until you can learn to forgive yourself. I've had to do the same thing to forgive those who had hurt me before I could understand what forgiveness really is. So,
well, thank you for that. I also, as our sister Deb, needed to hear that directly.
Yeah, Deb was having a hard time with sound issues, so they're going to reset and come back. So just, you know.
Okay, she's here. I'm gonna bring her back up.
Auntie Luna, can you tell us about the Moon-Eyed people?
The Moon-Eyed people.
Yeah.
You're asking me this question, and you know, so this is ancestors pushing me now. Now it's in my face. Now it's really in my face. This is a test. I know this is. I can feel it. We have our ancestors in Sky World, the ones who carry the great knowledge. This would be like say the people who stand right next with Creator. They're above our ancestors, and give that knowledge or approval for knowledge to come to us when we go into ceremony. Within my tribe, we call these people our sacred wisdom keepers. And they hold everything that, you know, I know B asked you, Gerald, about the part of the brain that we cannot use. Now within our tribe, let me explain why she asked this question. Within our Cherokee tribe, we know, we're very aware, and in their teachings is that there is a part of the brain that no human right now can use, and because that is your sacred a sacred place, Creator has, and we're not going to be able to use that completely until there's balance on Mother Earth, and this rebirth actually happens to fullness, to where we will be able to communicate with even our four-legged and our two-legged and our I call them creepy crawlers, and be able to hear exactly and understand what our tree nation is speaking of water nation, even the echoes and sounds of our ancestors that carry in the wind. We'll be able to feel and see and understand all of this after this great change. And the Moon Knight people, they hold that knowledge, that part of your brain that you can't use, they hold that knowledge. So that is what that is within our Cherokee tribe, Anthony. That's our understanding.
Thank you. I have a similar understanding, but I wanted to hear it from you because I know that's part of your tribe. And since we're talking about aliens and Starman and those things, I was hoping that you would share that, because I didn't want to share your own tribe stuff.
Right, and then plus on top of that, that would be something. This is why I'm saying ancestors put me on the spot. So now it's kind of like, oh, you're talking the talk after what we've told you and brought to you. Now you need to walk the walk, and here we're going to send your nephew to put you on the spot directly. So let's just jump right into that shit. That's exactly what that was.
Luna, Debbie's back. I was able to bring him up as speaker, but you got to bring him up as co-host.
Oh, okay. Let me do that.
And I just want to try and remind everybody, we might have a lot of people asking to come up and speak or ask questions of Gerald. So if we can be respectful of that, and then that way we can, make sure that everything goes smooth as possible, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. So Effings, we're going to let you go on through. Gerald, if you still have a little bit of time, we have a few more hands and new people who are up on speaker that have a question or comment for you.
I can go for another 10 minutes. I have a granddaughter that's waiting for me. So yes.
Oh, we do not want to keep her waiting.
No.
We all know how our First Nation children are.
Yeah.
Effings, go ahead.
Wonderful to meet you and all of you in this sacred space. I have a question. I fell asleep this afternoon for several hours, and when I woke, I had I guess I was dreaming, and it was like transparent, like two beams of red and yellow. And I don't know what that means, but I haven't done that in a while. And then I was trying to look up the dream meaning. It said something about the fiery sun, but I haven't read all the thing. And I just wanted to know if that is a significant meaning. I don't know what it means. Thank you.
Well, when you have these dreams, that's how the Creator and the spirit world communicate with us. And for me, when I see the red is for the southern door for guidance and direction. And for yellow is where in this northern hemisphere is where the sun rises every day, and that's new beginnings. So whatever it is you've been asking for there, and those transparent beings, for me, when the 7 of the ancestors and the stars came, they were all transparent when they came, because they had to come in that form, even though they didn't need to, because they actually travel through consciousness. So whatever it is you've been asking for, you've been asking to either you reconnect with your gift as a seer or as a traveler, that only you can answer that. What is it that you've been asking for?
Actually, I haven't been really asking, but recently, yeah, it has to do with, like, you know, creativity in your artwork. So how could I put it? I have the opportunity to help people with, say, with my artwork, and help myself first, and then, you know, help others. And that would be so awesome if I could get, you know, above my situation. I don't want much. I just want to help people and animals. And yeah, you know, like I said, I don't need very much. And if that can come true, that would be fantastic.
So they're telling you that they can help you, but you have to ask them for that help. And that's why the red is the guidance and direction which you want to give to the people. And the yellow is the new beginnings you want to give the people through your guidance and direction for whatever it is they need in their life. But they're saying to you, we hear you, we see you, but what do you need from us is what they're out telling you. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, Wanda, it's your turn. And then Sean.
Thank you, Luna. Sagote, I just wanted to say aheha for being here this evening. There's so much power in your words. I can feel it when you speak. And the words you shared this evening have been not only reassuring, but it strengthens me in my own path to hear confirmation that I'm understanding the messages I'm receiving. So like I said, I just wanted to connect and say aheha. And thank you for giving me the reassurance to continue on my own path. And thank you for sharing your gift this evening.
The ancestors said to tell you, Kai tagustugunan, isagi haya kanma. The ancestor says, tell our grandchild, tell our relative, tell our sibling not to be afraid of us. We love her. So whatever gifts and abilities you've been given, nurture and develop those gifts and abilities, because this is the time that we all need to come together. What Crazy Horse had said, I see the four colors of mankind gathering under the sacred tree of life to bring love, light, and unity to a world struggling with darkness. So welcome to the tribe, sister. So that's a part of it. So don't be afraid of your gifts and your abilities, and don't be afraid of the ancestors. They're here and they love you and they want you to excel and exceed in all that you do. So you're not crazy.
Sean, go ahead.
Thank you for, excuse me, thank you for letting me speak, Luna. Gerald, I'm Buddhist, I've followed the Buddhist path, one of the Buddhist paths. Have the ancestors ever spoken to you about people who do, or about the Buddhist path?
Have the ancestors spoke of those who have passed? That's your question?
No, have the ancestors ever spoken? There are a lot of, in Buddhist mythology, there are a lot of tales about Amitabha, sorry, a Pure Land he blessed. I'm a Buddhist, and I wonder, I'm aware only recently that a lot of First Nations people are switching to Buddhism, but I wonder if the ancestors have ever spoke to you about those who follow one of the Buddhist paths, Siddhartha Shakyamuni.
Oh yes, well the ancestors say kakio and kitskan pia si mantu ihtat magpita sung ay sino higimigos katabugita tansi some stotach. But the answer said yes, there is one source in life for all of us that believe, We've all been given different colors, creeds, religions, and faiths, so we could learn from each other and share with each other. So they had said that in the wilderness, and that there's a reason why the Creator created different colors, creeds, religions, and faiths and beliefs. So because we're all meant to learn from each other. So because spirit is spirit, blood is blood, creator is creator. So
Thank you kindly, Gerald. I appreciate that.
welcome, brother.
Okay.
I have a question, Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a pipe carrier, and I've made a commitment to the people. And you know, I mentioned earlier that our Wikasa Wakan has walked on, and I don't know if you heard, there was a man that died at Sundance, and outside Oglala. I was there, and when you were saying about people playing with these ways, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was in that Wanaki ceremony that third night, and they brought in a guy, Brandon from Rosebud. But anyway, I'm a single full-time father. My son's been with me his whole life, and I still have to go. I still have to finish my commitment to the people, but I don't. Right now, our Tioshpa is an abandoned people, and they went and asked Dickie Richard Moves Camp, because it's the same altar. Because a lot of us have a commitment to fulfill, and so, you know, all my stuff is in my hocha car right now, all my chanupa and everything, and my sweat bag, everything. And I'm gonna go sweat again, and it's gonna be soon, but I have to go finish my commitment, and I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. And so I took up these ways because it's I'm a half breed, but also for my son, to show him these ways, and so he can carry them on for the 7 generations ahead. And so right now I'm just kind of struggling, because I've been walking this red road for 8 years, and I just witnessed something that was just horrific. And these guys were playing with these ways, man. And so kind of lost on my path right now, bro.
The grandfather said, "Kai ta kostio igune uspagana igo chanma kagi hawi ghost igune uspagana tanu suhomago tum gawi aimihot Gwegwami wasung kawabahti haya kigwanu kamahmitwagi reisinu dansani spika mitwagi hanuma matsun." They said the grandfather said there's a reason why he was loaned that pipe that he carries, and not to be afraid of that pipe when he needs that guidance, that direction that he needs. That is why he was given that pipe, to lift it. And what you've experienced when you see, there is a reason why you've seen what you've seen in that ceremony you've mentioned. Because the grandfather said we were showing him and the people what happens when you play with the way, when you play with medicine, when you play with ceremony. The ancestral grandfather says, pray for those people who have lost their way. They're not bad people. They have just lost their way. And you've been given a pipe to help you heal, to help you find your way. That's why you've been loaned that pipe by the Creator. So don't be afraid of it. It's there to help you. It's there to heal you. It's there to guide you.
I also want to add, Kola, your commitment is to the tree, not to the person. One of the things that I had to, I learned long ago, even though you do your best, but when these moments happen and you still want to carry on and still want to go help out, because once you've done your 4-year commitment, you're done. You don't have to dance anymore, but you can go help out still partake and participate and help the younger ones that are starting and learning, that are their first year babies, to learn, to teach that on. That's why they call them, after 4 years, they call them veterans, after they're done their 4 years. So also, like I said, it's important to remember that commitment is to the tree, not to a human being. It's to that tree of life. That's that main commitment. So it's just want to add that in too as well.
Whoop it up.
Okay, Ursula, we'll let you go.
Okay. Hi, Gerald. Yate she Njango Sad Bayan Kill Don't Deneb Bahanti. I just want to say thank you for speaking on Star People and coming to our space, to our native space. And I just want to say hello, and I loved your stories and all that you've talked about tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for opening your mind and your heart to learn more about the ancestors from the stars. So, because they've been watching for you at the same time, so don't be afraid of them as well. Make sure you call those that work for the Creator. So,
thank you.
Okay, everyone. So, Gerald does have limited time here, but I did want to explain to you, you know how us aunties are, Gerald. Especially when we're having when we're having just a regular, First Nation conversation within our tribes, and we were speaking the other night about you coming and speaking with us. And it was just made aware from us aunties and then we are biased anyway towards our men. We're biased, we are. And it was just mentioned that that we have a very handsome relative. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And that's where, yes.
This is why I was teasing them, Gerald. This is why I was teasing.
This is why he was teasing. So, yeah, but we were all just having some humor and stuff the other night during the space. But I want to go ahead and give you any last words for us, and let you be on your way and take care of that grandbaby. And invite you at any point in time, if you ever want to come in to our spaces, if you have time, you're more than welcome to be here with your family. We love you and thank you. I humbly set my spirit upon ancestors to thank them for bringing you and the messages that you have brought, particularly also the personal ones for me that I actually really needed. So we'll go ahead and give you, an ending of what you want to say and let you, hope you have a peaceful night.
Wiguta, mina pega na naskum na kakki ngok simanto wista na naskumao. Guasum kamam skutamad na wa kama wihats tagostamig matsun. Kama wihats tagostamig na tawiun. Kama wihats tagossuig. Itibas sigan matsun pagan kakki kasagi tay kung tahtagisaga gawi asinis kiyuk matsu mukti. Guasuma kay wihats tawan sinawa kasagi suig isuka kani mahtawa kana matsun. So I want to thank the Creator for allowing me to be here today. And I honor each and every one of you. And I will leave you with this. Don't ever be afraid to live life. Don't ever be afraid to heal. Don't ever be afraid to love yourself. And don't ever be afraid of life. Life is short. And when you can do the work and appreciate life for really what it is, you will come to show the Creator that we all come from, how truly sacred life really is, and to always never to forgive Don't ever forget to live, to love, to laugh. And most of all, don't ever forget to love yourself. I love each and every one of you, and I would honor to be sharing the sacred space with you, and I would be honored to share another space with you when time permits, when Creator permits. Much love and respect to each and every one of you. Kisahit now. Hi, hi.
Thank you again, Gerald. For anyone who wants to follow Gerald, you may do so. Please.
I wanna thank our relative here for taking the time to come and talk with us all and share. Pilamai.
Oh,
It's good.
Ramen.
It's good when we can come together and talk. And you know, normally, I think maybe COVID might have helped along the way with this, but normally, you wouldn't see many of our people that have the combined spiritual knowledge and teachings of our ancestors in such a manner online. Um, so, for those of you listening, just remember that these moments are a blessing. They're a gift in a good way. So just remember those things as you're carrying on your evening and the rest of your lifetime. Pidama.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're gonna continue on with the space, Gerald. And we're famous for doing late nights and stuff. So, you know, if you have to go, again, you don't feel some type of way of leaving. But if you want to stay, that's fine too.
Nope. I got my granddaughters waiting. So till next time, my relatives, we'll talk again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Aho.
Aho. All right, we're gonna keep the space going a little longer to have just an after space to speak on things. So if you want to come up and speak, you may do so. We invite you for any comments or to share your story. Now we're just gonna go into storytelling.
Okay, sisters, it's safe to wipe your drool now. Okay.
Oh, shut up. I say shut up while I got a box of tissues right here next to me. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead, anybody who wants to speak, go ahead, Anthony. I've got to step away just for 1 second, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
Debbie and
I got you. I was gonna share with you, Josh. There was something that that when he was sharing about a story about pay attention to the things that you come in contact with, the things that you gravitate towards, the synchronicities. I think he mentioned that specifically, and for me, that's kind of how like listening to that your higher self, your spirit guide, or whatever you call it. My kola has a name, but I didn't know it at the time. But the more I had to learn how to trust my judgment again. And because we have all these different influences in the world, sometimes you wonder if your ideas are your own, especially when you're on this path. But you just have to give over to the synchronicities in life, and those are the things that that path will be carved for you when you learn how to pay attention to those signs. And I'm just a common man. I'm a common two-legged, but I learned how to pray, and I learned how to take care of myself and my family, the same way that my ancestors did on my ancestral land, and it works for me. And it doesn't necessarily have to work for you, but what I can share with you is I think part of that message he was sharing in his journey was that, paying attention to those synchronicities and those things, like for instance, being in this space, right? You're actively proactively seeking knowledge and understanding of your own from where you're at, you know, and that's, I think, that's a step in the right direction. So just keep it pushing, you know. Slow motion is better than no motion, you know. Not every day is going to be the greatest, you know. So you know, things that are hard, you have to work at things that are hard. We all do, you know. Not everything comes natural to everyone. So I just wanted to encourage you in that way, you know, to just keep going and learn to trust yourself again, because that's your higher self talking to you, putting those things in front of your path like that. Go ahead. You could comment back if you want to, Josh.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I was just online trying to tell my story too, and I want to connect with other Native people, you know, to feel like I wasn't the only one, you know. I am a mixed blood, and you know, I had the Native blood in me, and I am now in Red Will Recovery, Red Will Recovery plan, and I appreciate them having this in their space so I can talk about these things, you know, and going on the path I'm going on and understanding the medicine wheel is what I'm supposed to do. So, thank you.
There's actually one of the prophecies states that there's the reconnecting ones, and each nation would start to reconnect with their ancestral knowledge from each tribe, and that we would come back together with the knowledge from our tribes that had been revived through the reconnecting ones. So it kind of sounds like you're part of that, you know, the prophecy. You know, we are the ones that they wrote about, you know, 50,000 years ago on stone tablets, and carried these stories, you know, these oral histories and the cosmology of our tribes, you know, coming from the Seven Sisters and the Pleiades and things like that. You know, that's just been handed down year after year after year, but it's something that was talked about, and we actually are the ones that we were waiting for. We are the ones that are supposed to be doing these things, and doing the inner work and following that path will get you to that next level of where you're going to be at. Because one of the things Gerald was saying was the intellectuals, the wisdom keepers, and that. And so, you know, just remember, you know, there's a famous quote that says, when you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And what that means is that, you know, once you graduate to certain levels of thinking, and these other worlds are unlocked to you, that you can put yourself in a room, you know, where you feel like you don't know anything and you're a novice, but that's where you should be. Keep pushing yourself.
I will. Thank you.
Also, I'm going to point out, Josh, don't focus so much on being a mixed blood in everything that you're talking about. Just speak from yourself. Far often than not, we spend too much time going, well, you know, I'm a mixed blood. That's putting a hindrance on ourselves and on our paths and on our learning. Because, you know, that far often than not, I know a lot of people who are mixed blood, and it can lead to putting a block, if you will, a wall, right? A self-imposed one. So I just want to share that with you, so, you know, give you some hope and some guidance to help you, so that way, you know, you can go further along on your path than find yourself stuck against walls that you've made up yourself. You know what I mean?
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Only the colonials like to try and get us down to a blood quantum. not our people.
No, but you made a really good point there, bro. When the neuro linguistic programming is what stops a lot of people. When you can talk about things in a different way instead of calling it a mistake, right? You call it a choice. A mistake is something that you can't live with. When you look on your past and you say, well, I made these choices, I made this mistake, you carry that around like that. You're carrying around a whole bag of garbage. So I think it's part of reprogramming some of the way that we talk when we describe ourselves and we describe things. You know, a lot of that has to change in the way that, and that helps change the thinking in the way, and that also helps change the perspective and how you view things, because your past will be viewed differently. I teach that to my son. You know, he's been with me his whole life, and I tell him, you know, maybe just, you know, the way you feel about it right now is not the same way you're going to feel about it in 5 years or maybe 10 years, because you're going to know more and you're going to learn more. So, you know, you might feel that way right now, but, you know, as you grow older, you might look at those things differently. So don't be so committed in the way that you feel. And I think he's really benefited from that instruction, the way he views the world around him, you know, at 10 years old. But I think it starts with just reprogramming the way we talk.
Yeah, that has, I just want to add to that, as we're on this topic, is that it is exactly what you heard Gerald even say tonight, that, you know, if you think and speak of good things are going to come in your path and stay in your path. If you think of bad things and speak in a bad way, well, bad things are going to come. This is the balance. I mean, again, as Gerald said and reminded us all, is that yes, we do have a free will, but we also have consequences for the choices that we make. So just keep that in mind. I want to speak with my grandmothers, my aunties, my mothers, my sisters, my nieces right now. And I want you to reflect on what Gerald said about your responsibility, whether you're First Nation or not. You are female, and in natural law, you are a leader. And if you look very closely, this leadership is being attacked when it comes to us females, because others know, who may not have good intents for us as a people, human beings as a whole. They know this. They know this part of natural law, and where the woman is placed in her position in this. And so they will create ways to try to destroy that, because, you know, there are people that go through a matrix, or where the men are rulers. But this is not natural law from Creator. You heard Gerald say it very well himself. We women hold a sacred leadership within the world. So we have to be mindful of this, and learn your cultural ways, regardless if you're First Nation or not. But, you know, I'm speaking more to where I know I can't tell you exactly what to do if you're not First Nation and a woman, because I don't know that leadership, but I do know you have a leadership. This is why it's so very important that you find your ancestral self, who they are, what your cultures goes through, what your traditions are, what your ceremonies are, what your ways are, because there's going to come a time, and it's coming very shortly, that you are going to be pushed up into the forefront to lead, and you are going to need to know, at least be aware of that role that you Creator has put you for. So and to my First Nation sisters and mothers, grandmothers, nieces, daughters, granddaughters. It's time now. It's time now to come home and stay home. Sure, you have to interact with what the world is going through now and in modern day. That cannot be taken, or you cannot redirect yourself from living in the now. But you need to take your leadership now. It's very important for our First Nation peoples. And you need to understand what that role is and what it means. We're beyond anything that a human being, we as human beings, can do to correct everything that has happened on Mother Earth now, and the damage that has happened to her. It's beyond human correction now. The only correction there is left now is will come from Creator, our ancestors, and Mother Earth. And it's going to be tough times, because that's an energy and a power that not even the most highest experts know how to deal with. And so you really need to practice your leadership roles and learn them, and encourage other women to do the same. So I just wanted to make sure that I give this. I got a lot of knowledge during my last ceremony. Most of it, we're not. Yeah, we as a people are not ready for it. As things progress, and this rebirth of Mother Earth proceeds to go on until the great change actually fully happens. I'll give more through that, but you have to understand those who connect with the ancestors and Creator, not by our choice, but because we're chosen to do that. We have a lot going on right now, y'all. And I'm sure I don't have to keep saying that. I'm very aware that you all know that. All I'm saying is prepare yourself, not physically, spiritually. You really need to now set aside all the dogma of what man has created within spirituality and connect directly with your ancestors and Creator, because there are the answers. They hold them answers to the solutions of the things that we ask on a daily basis. When is there going to be peace? When is racism going to stop? When is people going to stop killing people? You're not going to find them answers in another human being. You're going to find them within your ancestors and Creator. So it's to your benefit that you connect with Creator and the ancestors. And we all have them. Up in the sky world, they don't pick and choose who they don't have an ancestral system. It's not like, oh, okay, well, we're the ancestors from over here for this tribe, and we're the ancestors. They don't do that. You could be being led by an ancestor that has nothing to do with your physical race right now, your physical DNA, because they don't work that way. They don't know this. They don't go by that. They don't go by, what race, tribe you're from. They go by your spiritual, that doesn't have any of those titles whatsoever at all. So when I say ancestors, I mean connect with our ancestors, period. not our First Nation ancestors, not our, Indian ancestors, not our Arabic ancestors, no titles, because they don't work that way. So that's what I wanted to say. So let me ask you all, if you'd like to come up and speak, please go ahead and request. We have a few more spaces left for people to be up on the speaker panel. And also, I want to ask you all, what did you take from what Gerald, the knowledge that Gerald brought? What did you take from that?
I think one of the biggest ones was kind of what I was mentioning earlier about when he was talking about the wisdom keepers and the people that have done the work. I kind of felt like that was the group that I found, like you and Debbie and La Sue and others in my personal life, in my personal spiritual life that I've surrounded myself with, and I see that what he was talking about, I see that in my inner circle. And so I really kind of identified with that. And thought he had a lot of really encouraging things to say. Also, there was a lot of encouragement there.
Yeah, I agree, and I way, nephew.
I got to tease my sisters.
How about here you go?
I just knew he was going to say that.
I love you both. I do.
Love you too. Boy, on the edge of my tongue was the dusty
I'm
blanket.
just letting you know. I don't know when, and I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you when you least expect it. You watch.
Hey,
because when you said
you
that,
got me all plenty of times before, so we call
and
it
I knew
balancing out.
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, you balanced it all right.
That was, sister, you know, I'm just going to tell you how grateful I am that you found Gerald in a sea of chaos, you know, and literally, I'm surprised I hadn't come across some of his videos and work. But I don't tend to spend a lot of time, you know, like I don't know who's out there, you know, but like the stuff he was talking about, like my grandkids are looking at me through the whole thing and they're like, you said that, you know. So as I'm teaching them, you know, I'm realizing the importance of those messages going out into the world, you know, and what he's doing, you know, stuff that I am not really capable of doing, which is to speak about it, you know. But man, some of those things are just so powerful, you know, powerful and validating. And I feel like when many of us are hearing the same messages and guiding us towards the same places, then, you know, it's as if the tested path is proving true. And that's something that's very important, okay? And so I'm just so grateful to you, sister, for inviting him here and giving us all an opportunity to hear him. Thank you, my sister. I love you. And I love you too, brother, even though you're teasing us incessantly over this guy.
I gotta have some fun, you know. Y'all get me all the time.
And you were right, though. He just went all silent.
I know. I was like, oh shit.
You know, I was thinking about that. Are we going to respond or no? Maybe we better not. We're just trying to remain dignified under the attack.
Right. Well,
I think
I just want to say we can all just thank ancestors.
Yes.
We all have just been things been validated for every one of us in our own way, in our own spiritual way, by having Gerald with us. And I want to let you all know he came in as humble as any human being could, because the man does have a very public life and past, and he didn't come in this way. And this is, you know, I am proud to say that a majority of our First Nation people are this way. This man is an actor. He's in the entertainment world. He's very highly involved into the entertainment world. If he wouldn't have mentioned it, or I or my sister Deb or Loss wouldn't have mentioned it, would you had known that without really going and seeing who he is? I now that he's spoken and you've heard his message and his knowledge, Google him, and you will see who he is and how humbly he came in to speak with us tonight in our sacred space.
Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. It was just really humbling. First of all, I love that he spoke in his native language. I would love to have a recording and play it at night so it can, you know, be planted in my brain. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful language, and I'm just so grateful for this space. I just feel like I'm reconnecting, because for a while I was really into, you know, I've always been into your culture, but I feel like I've slacked off. And to me, it's really important, because I was hoping I had some Native American in me, and because of my dad, but I don't think so. And what he said, it really doesn't matter. It's your heart, and you know, how you feel about people and life, you know, and what's important. That really meant a lot to me, and it puts a whole new perspective. I don't have to worry, you know, or feel uncomfortable, maybe because I'm white. And I have to honor that. So that was really, what could I say? I'm just really thankful, you know, for the space, and thankful. He's so humble. I mean, I forgot that he was an actor. You know, when you meet someone, he's just like all of us. But that's not good enough to say. Oh, my phone went. I hate when my phone does that to me. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, we're back. Anyways, it's just a wonderful space. Thank you so much.
And thanks to the creators. I have to give them all acknowledge them with this. This is not something that I totally went out and seeked. Our relative was brought my way, and I did what I was directed to do and what came through my path. So I'm humbled that, you know, that we found him, and ancestors brought him our way, and I can't take credit for that. It's totally on to to Creator and ancestors. That's why what happened tonight and this roundtable happened because of them, not because of me.
I also want to remind everybody that may have shown up late and have missed some of it, that the space is recorded. So that way you will be able to listen to the parts that you missed out in before joining, so that, you know, you're all in the loop, so to speak. Yes, just wanted to remind everybody of that.
Yeah, so it'll be something that you can share if you feel that somebody may need, you know, or be interested in hearing what happened within the space tonight. Feel free to do that. That's why, because normally we don't record our native roundtable spaces. So make sure that you share it, because somebody may have been busy, you know, or something may have distracted them, and they may need to hear some of the things that were said by anybody, not just Gerald, but by anybody. So we want to keep that in mind and keep the knowledge going. This is the beginning of that. Like I said, it's very hard for me. I know what I have to do, and I know ancestors are pushing me away to be more outspoken about things, and you all seen it directly tonight with my nephew, and you know, I hold my nephew Anthony high. I've never met him in person yet, and I say yet, but I have worked with him on some other things, and through that connection, love and respect my nephew very much, and through him tonight was validation for me from ancestors that, you know, stop talking the talk and start walking the walk, ancestors say. So I'm trying to do the best of doing that to my benefit. It's a learning experience that shows you, you know, you have to humble yourself, because we're not all experts. I don't think if you put us all together, all us human beings on Earth, here on Mother Earth, together right now, by the billions, that we'd even come close to being as knowledgeable as what our Creator and ancestors are. But we need to prepare ourselves, because that time is coming. That's the good thing. That's the good path that we can all look forward to, without all this division of cultures and race and language and all this. You know, there's going to come a time to where we're all really be forced to live on the same level equally, because we as human beings have not learned to do that just on our own. We're given the free will to do so, and this goes back to what we brought up tonight, and we're speaking about free will and the consequences of not of taking advantage of that fact that we do have free will. So now we're going to have to reap the consequences of not going by our natural law of Creator. Personally, I don't think any kind of religious book holds that knowledge 100%, because, you know, the human mind has interrupted that. I'm sure it was pure at one time, but just like the story that they have in the Christian faith, where Cain turns around and, you know, they're told not to kill, and he ends up killing somebody. Well, after that happened, now it becomes a normal. You see it because we're seeing thousands die by the masses. That's taking advantage of the fact that, you know, oh, well, nothing happened to us for doing it back then, so let's keep doing it and worse. You see? And so now we're all going to have to face the consequences of that. And hopefully we'll have some mercy from Creator. It's hard to live a good way when you have nothing but bad surrounding you. But that even shows us how much more power that we have when we're able to practice what we preach and keep in that good way, in that good path. Are negative things going to come into that path? Of course they are, because that is the intent, is to break us off the good path, the good road. It is going to be all up to you, and nobody can walk and respond and react to what comes into your path but your spirit, you, and the choices that you make and how you respond to these things. So I wish you all, you know, the protection of Creator and the ancestors to guide you through these times and to help you and protect you through these times, because it's not over yet. We're not there yet. And things are bad, really, really bad. As I'm stating and saying, speak good things, think good things, I don't really mean ignore the bad things. Because if you ignore them, then you're not able to get through them as gently. Don't ignore 100% the really bad things. Involve yourself when you can. And some of these things are so terrible you don't want to see. But you have to at least address them to see your spiritual reaction that may be able to have that one thing that can help somebody who's directly affected. It's not hard to see people being killed right now. But if you don't acknowledge it, then within your spirit, you're not able to experience what that's like. You know, like the terrible things that are going on in the Congo and Sudan and Palestine and all these different places, and being aware, even though you may not be a person who jumps into politics, it still doesn't mean that you should ignore that completely. You need to be aware. You need to gain knowledge of the more negative things that are going on, so that you can be the positive walking through that for someone, for yourself, and maybe someone else, or people by the masses. And these are your fellow human beings. So your duty by Creator it is to help in some kind of way, to try to find a positive way even into these negative things that are happening, is how I want to say it. This is not coming from me. This is one of the things that ancestors are giving me right now to just go ahead and say, because you're ready for that. We need to try to do these things because we've learned to be biased about things, to take a side on things. And a lot of the really brutal things that are happening right now don't need a biased response to them. They need an open mind look. These are human beings being killed. They're human beings. Forget all the reasons why. That's what they need. And that's what you need. Because as you see, you know, children losing their lives, no matter how it is, doesn't even have to be in war. You can relate as an adult because, for one, you were a child. For the other, you're either have children or are going to have children or have children somewhere around you within, you know, your immediate family. And it is your duty, regardless whether that child is yours or not, to have the responsibility to make sure that our 7 generations are okay. This is not just for a certain people to do. This is for every human being. This is what Creator has put us here to do. You don't live for yourself. You live to serve others as they are to serve you. We need to come back to this understanding, because we're about to be forced to do it. And that's a power that you need to prepare yourself to deal with and be able to have knowledge about. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, because that was a lot on me spiritually right now, because that's ancestors speaking on me. Go ahead, brother.
I'm just going to say, I'm looking forward to my grandkids coming and picking up their mushum and going, mushum, shh, don't tell Kukum, here's fry bread.
Don't worry, they've got it on their to-do list. We'll surprise you one of these days, boy. Oh, what a heavy energy rate, like to so much energy invested in tonight, like just in the learning and the allowing it into spirit and feeling the ancestors right now, and just how much of a blessing this was, you know, and what they guided. Okay. And it was amazing. I'm still absorbing, sister, like you are, thinking about the message, you know, and essentially, you know, what it means for us right now. Yeah, I mean, so much of what he said it in such an articulate way, which was necessary, you know. I mean, I don't have that that gift. Mine is a little bit lacking in the seriousness of it, and of course you're just laughing.
I have to say, I'm very proud of you two sisters.
We're proud of you too.
I teased you all, and you all held your dignity and handled that very well, even though that humor was exactly that was needed also to break up some of the heaviness too.
I know I was muted and laughing here. The kids were just laughing.
Yes, and I had to, and what really is, you made me have to bust on me and my sister, which isn't kind of cool, because I'm not the kind of person, I wasn't going to leave him there, you know, with this going on, and explain to him exactly what happened, you know. And let him leave like, what the hell were they talking about? What?
I think he would have caught on. Hey, he's
I think he would have caught on. He fully caught on. He's Woodland Cree. He fully caught on.
He started laughing after I explained it to him, but that's good. That's what I told you all when we were having that conversation in the space the other day, is that, he's First Nation, so he's gonna get the humor in it.
Yeah, he did get it.
Although, hey, give me credit. I didn't put that video up in the teleprompter.
Oh my gosh. Exactly.
Yeah, that would have been the icing on that cake.
Yes. But what I am going to do, you all, because I just thought about it, I want to keep this recording really for knowledge for people. Yeah, I'm going to restart. What I want to say is, if you are listening to the pre-record, just a message to you that I hope all of us here, regardless of our color, our race, our DNA, to let you know that this roundtable is meant for us as human beings, period. And I hope the knowledge that all of us have, and even the laughs that we have together as you listen, bring some kind of good your way and in your path, and give you some kind of knowledge through these times. But what I'm going to do, you all, is I'm going to restart the space, because we don't normally record them, and this is really important. And hope you all come, join the after space, and that's what I'll name it, as the after space. Okay.
All right.
We'll see you there.
So those requesting to come up and speak or whatever, please come to the after space.
Yeah.
And we'll continue on the conversation there. Thank you all for partaking and listening and being here with us all tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. With that, I'm going to go ahead and thank our ancestors and Creator right now, and let you know that we're so humbled as a people for your guidance.
Hi.
And we humbly take into account everything that has came in to our sacred space tonight. And we're still trying to be, Creator, the human beings and the children that you want us to be. Thank you so much. We acknowledge you, and we love you. We love our ancestors. And hopefully we can learn to love each other. Have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. We're trying. Aho.
Hi.
All right,
All right. Kick it.